You're going to jail in Mexico? I hope not. Don't make that mistake. Watch this video. Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels.
Lori here. I understand you're gonna make a videos about the car accident, and you got a car accident and you're gonna go to the jail. You know more than me. I'm gonna go do my garden. You go ahead and do the video. Okay.
Okay.
So see you later.
Okay, thanks, Lori. So you can go to jail in Mexico when you have a car accident? Is that really true? Well, I'm going to answer that question for you in this video, and I'm going to give you a little explanation about that. So the police, and what they do at least, is they come in and they're trying to figure out who's at fault, who's wrong, and seeing if people are drunk or if they're using pot or they're high on something. Because if you are down here and you are getting high or you're drunk, and right away, bang, you're going to jail. No questions asked. You're just going to jail, and you're not going to buy your way out of that. So be cautious if you're out late at night and you're having a few drinks or whatever you do in that particular area of getting high, and you can get into big problems down here, and then you're going to have to go to jail. You're going to have to get a bail bondsman and people to help you get out of jail. Okay, so that's precaution. Don't do that. Another way that you could go to jail is, let's say you cause the accident and you drive away and they catch you. That is a hit and run. And so if you're convicted of that, you could be spending 1 year in a jail here in Mexico. So definitely do not drive away. Even if it's a small accident, get your information. Even if you don't call your insurance company at that particular time, it's advisable. Let your insurance company know that you had an accident, and collect the information from that other person just like you would do in your own country. And don't leave, because that person could turn it on you and you could be considered a hit and run accident or fleeing from the crime. So please do not drive away. You can get in a lot of trouble. Now you ask, what happens if somebody is caught driving and drinking or high? Well, the police are going to do two things. They're going to arrest you. They're going to take you to jail. Also, they are going to get your car and they're going to take it away, and they're going to store it away for you until you can pay all of your fines. So you're going to have a bail fine, and also you're going to have a storage fine on your car. So be careful if that's the situation, because if you get arrested on that, then what you may need to do is you may need to contact your consulate. So let's say you're an American, you'd contact the American consulate. Hopefully they will be able to send down an attorney and defend you. If not, in that particular case, you may need to ask your insurance agency, even so they're not responsible for this, how you can get legal advice down here and pay the fines. So be awful careful about that. Also, we're going to talk about in this video what happens when you do get in an accident and what are the steps you need to take to protect yourself so you don't go to jail. What happens if you get in an accident? How do you want to protect yourself? Well, one of the things, and this is very important, if you get in a fender bender or something like that, do not move the cars. Don't move them to the side, because what the function of the policeman is to come in and analyze the situation there, see who's at fault, what's the cause of the problem there, and by moving it, they can't analyze what it is. Okay, so don't move your vehicle. Just get out of the car, wait. And so the insurance company comes and they look at what your damages are. And then what you do is you have insurance, right? So you call the insurance agent. And typically, there's a number there on all your policies who to call. They will send out a insurance agent to help you out, and usually they'll speak English. And you want to tell them that, if you could get somebody that speaks English, then that would be, very helpful for you. So when they come out, they're going to look at your policy and they're going to then help you out. If it's a situation that you had to go to jail, and like I said before in another video, that if there's blood in the accident, and it could be a situation like, you banged your head on the dashboard and you're bleeding, and so whatever the reason is to have blood, they are going to take you to jail, and they're going to see what the who was at fault and the reason why it was at fault. They're going to take both parties to jail. And so what they want to do is they want to make sure that you have enough money to pay for those damages. If you are in need of going to the hospital, then they'll take you by ambulance to the hospital. But now this is a real, on the policies and stuff, and when you talk to the insurance agencies, they'll tell you, oh, they'll take care of that. They'll maybe get you a bail bondsman if you need it. They will take care of your medical cares. This is all covered. I highly, highly doubt that. I've never had that experience, so I don't talk from firsthand experience, but I have talked to other people who have had those accidents. Well, if you go to the hospital, they're going to ask for cash up front. They want the money up front. They're not going to say, oh, I got this little paper here, and you got your insurance policy and that'll cover it. That place is going to say, I want cash up front. So if you have a credit card, you're okay. So what you want to do is make sure that you have sufficient funds that if something like that happened, that you are able to pay for it, because they'll deny you entry into the hospital or medical care because you don't have the money, and they're not going to get held with the bill. Also, the insurance company will help you out if you get thrown in jail and you do need a bail bondsman. They will help you out in that particular case. You may have to put up the money at that time and then get reimbursed. And that would be the same way with your hospital. You would then pay it up front, and then you would then get receipts, and then you would go back to the insurance company, submit your claims to them, so you're covered there. I got to tell you this little story. When I first came down here, my friend, he says, situation is different down here in Jerry with Mexican drivers. His gardener, who was like 50 years old, he just got his car. And do you think he had driver's ed? No way. Do you think he even took the driving test? Probably not. He probably didn't even know how to drive a car. He probably has watched people drive a car. And so they don't have the, the rules and regulations that we have, things that we would do, growing up. Maybe we take driver's ed, maybe we take a driving course. So we know the laws here. The other thing is that, remember, in Mexico, the signs are different. They're, first of all, they're in Spanish, and they are more of an international symbols there. As an example, you have a parking or a no parking sign. Parking sign would be a sign, with an E on it, and that's parking. And you could have that one where you have the E, and then you have a line cutting through it, and that's no parking. So situations like that, you may want to look at, brush up on what those symbols look like before you come down here. That'll help you from getting a ticket. Now, if you do get a ticket here, I've never gotten a ticket, but I have been pulled over. And to be honest with you, I have given them a little, I call it a tip, remember. I have given them a little tip, basically to take care of it for me. Now, A lot of our friends down here, because we live here, if they get a ticket, they'll tell the policeman, I'm going to go to the municipality and I'm going to pay for it directly. Just give me the ticket. If a policeman has sort of hinted around that he wants you to give you some money, you can give him the money. I am not offended by that because I look at it as a service that he's going to take it and pay it for me. Is he? Who knows? Probably not. But that's out of my hands. And so I don't want to drive down to the municipalities, wait in line and pay for it. So that's a situation, personally, that I do. Don't recommend it. And that, in fact, I got to tell you this other story. We were in another part of Mexico. We were traveling around and we were looking for a hotel. Well, I told Lori I was parking out in the street and it was definitely marked no parking, handicap, no parking there. Well, I says to Lori, says, wait in the car. I'm going to run across the street real quick to the hotel. I'm going to check it out. So when I come back, what's happened is here is a policeman there. And he's got his book out. He's going to write a ticket. And he says, what are you looking for? I says, I'm looking for a hotel and I want to have parking that's connected to the hotel. And so he says, well, follow me. So here he's got this big Harley Davidson motorcycle and he drives me over to this hotel. And we go in and look. I says, it doesn't quite look like I want it. And he says, well, let me take you to another one. So he actually took us to 3 hotels. And then I says, actually, I like the first one. So he took us back there, okay? And so when it came down to paying him, now remember, I deserved a ticket for parking where I shouldn't have parked in a no parking zone. And so I gave him 200 pesos, $10. And I said, in my mind, I said, that's my concierge service that I got where I could be taken around by a policeman. And in those particular cases, because I was with him, I was parking in front of the hotels where there was no parking signs there. So I didn't get all uptight about it. I figured I'm getting the service here. So that's a simple way I do it. So if you are you getting an accident there? One of the things that's advisable is that, especially if you're traveling here, let's say for a few weeks or a few days or maybe a month or so, and you're basically renting a car. And so what you want to do is you want to carry all your paperwork, your insurance paper and stuff like that. Now what we have here, I'll show you here, we carry a copy of our passport here. And so what you can do is this just a laminated copy of a passport, and I carry that with me all the time just in case something happens, that I have that along with my insurance paper. And also, like I said in another video, we carry a copy of our attorney's business card, and if we need his services. Now let me be clear on some point here. If you have Mexican car insurance and you get in a regular accident and you have the Mexican insurance company come out and they look at it and they figure out what it is, you're not going to go to jail in that particular case. It's only under circumstances like hit and run or drunken driving or being high when you're driving, being in a situation where there's blood and that. Then on those particular cases, then you will have to go to jail and work it out. You'll have to make sure you have enough money to pay for your fines and also for damages on your car or the other person's car, mainly the other person's car. So make sure you have good Mexican car insurance. I would recommend getting the full coverage, because if you get in an accident, that little extra few dollars or that it costs you for the full coverage, you'll be grateful that you have it here. Okay, now let's go back to an accident situation. You get in an accident and it's not even your fault, okay? Damages are done to your car because of somebody else. That person, let's say he's a Mexican, he doesn't have insurance. What are you going to do? Well, the police may ask you, actually, this is not going to believe this or not, they may even ask you to pay for the damages on his car. And make sure that you have enough money to cover his car. You may, and this insurance adjuster may come out and then figure out what that price is. I've heard this happen before, believe it or not. Remember, we're in Mexico, and Mexico law is different than what you have up north in, say, the United States and Canada. As an example, and this is a big example here, is that you are guilty until proven innocent. Now, up north, we say that we are innocent until we're proven guilty, but not down here. It's a different law system here. So sometimes that you get in a situation. So we carry a copy of our passport. You maybe want to leave your passport in the hotel, which I probably wouldn't. I would just carry a copy of that. And so you want to have your driver's license. You have to have a valid driver's license. And the driver's license can be anywhere in the world. So you have to have a valid driver's license. You have to have your insurance policy with you. And you have to show that your rental agreement on your car is with you. Everything is in your name. So take precautions on that particular. How important case. Car insurance is here. I was just talking to a lady recently, and this is years ago. She came down here. They were only going to be in Mexico for 10 days, and it was going to cost her about, she mentioned something like about $300 for the 10 days. That seems a little high to me, but could have been right. And they thought, well, hey, 10 days, $300 is really going to eat into our budget, so let's not get it. And what happened was, guess what? She got in an accident. Of course she did. And so all the hassles that she had to go through, she didn't have to go to jail. She was very fortunate. She was in a small town in Mexico. So they were able to work out the arrangements with her.
Hey, Jerry, I brought you coffee, so I'm going to go do my garden.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead and do your video, okay?
Thank you, honey.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Some videos she doesn't really get involved in this particular case. It's a little serious, so she likes to play in her garden. Okay, let's get on with the video here. So it is important to get car insurance because it protects you. Now, I want to go back years and years and years ago, okay? In my first trip down here in 1972, me and another buddy, we came down to surf, and we were planning on being here 6 months. So now remember, 1972, that's a lot of years ago. So when we checked out what the insurance was going to cost us, we didn't get it because if we bought the insurance, we wouldn't have enough money to visit down here. And they weren't so particular about the car insurance at that time. And so, well, in that particular trip, I'll tell you, as an example, we were here for 6 months. We surfed, we drove all through Mexico. And actually, we got into 2 accidents in that time. And luckily, they were fender benders, not much damage done to the car. And so we were able to make an arrangement with the other driver, and it was our fault in both cases, with the other driver, that we would go to a body shop and that we would get an estimate and we would pay for any damages they had on the spot. And so that's what we did. But I don't recommend that, and I would never do that again today. So, because the laws have changed and they're much more particular about that. You can get into big trouble here. Well, I hope this helped you out. And if you have any other comments, please get back with me, because I would like to get clarification for you on different things in Mexico that maybe you're not aware of. So please give me some more comments on what you would like me to make videos about. Thank you. This is Baron Jerry Brown with Jerry Brown Travels. Whoops, here's a blooper. We hope you think it's funny.
Jerry, what do you... Jerry, what video are you going to make it in?
I understand you're going to make a video about going to jail.
I understand.
No, let's start from the beginning. Okay, ready? Get your hands, get your hands. Okay.
Lori here.
You see my face at the bottom right? Just touch on it and you'll subscribe. Don't forget, turn on your notifications and ring the bell. That's all you need to do to subscribe. And you'll get a free video notification once a week